I gotta send out the tweet. Audio, who knows? We're just flying off the rails. Somehow it's already 2 o'clock. Spent today fixing the ETF flows page. Let me tweet out that we're here. If you guys want me to look at anything, throw it in the chat. If the audio is not to your standards, let me know. And in the quest for achieving increasing efficiency, there are some tickers that you want me to look at in the chat, and I'll put them on a list, and then we can run them down that way for the people that are slightly behind. They will know where we're at, and it also acts as a timestamp for the stream, really. All right, tweet is sent. We are in the scene here. Let me know again, the audio, it should be fine. I haven't changed anything. I noticed people on a lot of podcasts, they like lean into the mic, including myself. So I need to not do that, because that's when I start to hear the audio all messed up. The shotgun mic should catch me just fine, you know, like this distance away. How we doing, everybody? Ben is here. Billionaire boy says audio good. Okay, that's good. Let me fix my chat. That way I'm not craning my neck here. What else we got? Bunch of stuff. Let me start adding these to the list real quick. That way I'm not a bajillion years behind. Overall, I think Bitcoin's doing okay. We survived a little mini Dumperino. Chopping around a little bit. Cup and handling a little bit. Broke out of that inverted head and shoulders. Sol looks okay. What else is going on? Not much. It's a short week. We got PCE tomorrow. Render I got on the list. Caspa, yeah. I look for all the Litecoiners, the altcoiners who come in and give me crap for not understanding the fundamentals of the altcoin stuff. That's fine, but you know, I don't know everything about everything. I think last stream I said something about Caspa looking like people are burning it or something, buying and burning, some mechanism. Pepe, okay, we'll add that. GRT, we'll add that. INJ. This is going to be so good for the timestamps. I like to optimize for that, because all I ever do, I never watch live streams. I always watch recordings. Okay, CeeLo. I haven't heard that one in a while. CeeLo, Rollbit. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oop. What else we got? Audio is good, thank you. Luxo. Oh, somebody wanted me to look. There's this guy, PRQ. Every video he asks me about PRQ. Sure, we'll look at it. PRQ, I hope that's the right one. INJ is on there. Metis, Velo is on there. Metis. Lots of base tokens. Top chat, got you, Vansky. Thank you for the letting me know. Be fake AI. Is that a ticker? I'm not looking at that. Wish your chart, please, if you get time. He didn't give me a ticker. Some Twitter guy says 150K in 30 days. Do you remember when, what's his name, said $1 million a coin in a month or something? Remember that? That's right, bud. What is this? 6 CryptoCap Doge plus LTC divided by... I don't know what that is. KMPR. Yeah, if you guys want me to look at any legacy stuff, definitely we can throw that on the list. Where was I? Tilray. Sure, why not? Yeah, ETH BTC I am pretty bearish on still. So Joey, say I will add Sui I have on the list. CTSI, that one's familiar. Cartesi. FET. Okay, FET. This way at least we have a list from stream to stream that I can always reference. No problem. Epicurus. TRU, please. What's TRU? I don't know what that is. Is that legacy? TrueFi. Ho ho. Okay. Cardano. Sure. The vaporware known as Cardano. Shiv. Sure, why not? Bonk. I was actually looking at Bonk yesterday, just on my own. Thinking, like, how many people are still trapped in that thing. Beam. Ocean. Ocean had a good little move there on that news. Well, I'll add Ocean BTC because that's the chart that I kept looking at. That actually looks really good still. What else did I miss? Square, yeah, okay, thanks, Ben. Squarespace, right? Yeah. Squarespace. Okta, Snow, Okta, Snow. Isn't this great? What a great stream. Me just finding the tickers, ton, sure. That's Telegram, right? Sell? Don't know that one. Probably that. AVAX, okay. Yeah, I'll look at the majors for sure. BNB BTC on the 1 day. Balaji, thank you. Yeah, Balaji. BNB BTC. What else did I miss? Anything else? That's probably most things at this point. Don't look at LTC, he says. Okay, you don't have to tell me twice. CRO, AVAX, Stan, Lena. Lena Classic. I know what you meant, and I'm gonna not look at that one. Look, my whole argument, it's like trading FTT. There's like 5,000 things you can trade. You gotta put a stance, a moral stance on something eventually. Socks, okay. Is that bearish? Okay, all right, I see you. Bearish semis. Yeah, AGIX, I don't think I'd ever heard of before that announcement. That's just me. Sand, sure. Let's just go down the market cap list. Why don't we? Algo, yeah, sure. Algo looks good to me still on the weekly. No qualms with that. Sin BTC, sure. So, what else we got here? Stinky Linky, sure. Yeah, we'll look at all the high caps. Fetch I added. Cardano I have. Stan. What is Stan? Standard Chartered? Stanley Cup coin? I'm guessing that's a bank that you're referring to, right? Stan the man? We'll assume that's the bank. Proof Cardano isn't vaporware. So here's the thing. Like, we got to set out some ground rules if we're calling stuff vaporware, which I did, so I will set those ground rules. Do they have DeFi? Do they have NFTs? Do they have stable coins? Do they have DEXs? What does their on-chain activity look like? What does their dev community look like? Do they have significant and consistent commits in GitHub? Okay. If I was comparing all those things, Cardano versus the world. Cardano would check almost none of those boxes. So to me, it's vaporware. They have those things. Don't get me wrong. They exist on paper. Do those things see activity and use? Not really. Not really. Okay, GitHub, I'll agree with you there. That is like the one thing, right? GME, sure. Okay, wrapping up here. Anything else? Stanley Cup coin on Solana. Was that really what you wanted me to look at? I don't think so. Maersk, sure. Yeah, what a terrible accident that was on that bridge. Man. That's nightmare fuel. Maersk. Yeah, I spelled it right? What's the ticker for that though? I don't know what the ticker is. You're gonna have to help me out. Unless it's this. I don't actually know. Link I added, MSTR. Yeah, we'll definitely talk about that. There was a firm that came out and said, Doge is on the list, Link is on the list, that they are short MSTR, long BTC. I think they've probably timed it correctly, but we'll see. Josh, in another way, can you see coin as a fund of altcoins? Yes. So Pratik. Coin to me is like a basket of altcoins. That's how I see it. All right, how are we going to sort this? How can I do this quickly? Let's just drag it, start it. Okay, it's going to take me 30 seconds. Maybe it's easier if I do it the other way. Pepe GRT. I probably should have just started a new list. CDLX is legacy. The next unlock here would be sorting this by market cap. Oh man, if I can add market cap to this list, it's over. It's absolutely over. FET, true. Where do you guys find these coins anyway? I guess if you're on like a different exchange other than the major exchanges, or you're on a layer 2, you'll see this stuff. Okta Snow, Cell, AVAX, BNB, Sox, Crow, ILV, sure. XLM, sure. ILV, XLM. Somebody else was talking about XLM on Twitter. I don't think for any specific reason, but Sin, Algo, Link. Okay, some legacy stuff. That wasn't so bad. We are in the trenches. Index screener, apparently. The problem is, for me, it's like getting money to that spot is treacherous, okay? Keeping track for taxes is a nightmare. Sizing that appropriately that makes sense is also a nightmare. Hive. At least for me. Yeah, we'll look at WGMI. Clean Spark, why not? Sure. Hive. The miners in general. XTZ and comp. Sure. Can I? XTZ is another chain that's just dead. Deader than dead. Same thing with EOS. Yeah, Abe. XLE's been doing really well. I'm kind of surprised and scared at how well that trade is working, because that's kind of no good for anybody if energy's taken off like that. Stratus, what's the ticker? Is it STRAX? Okay. I do not have a meme allocation, no. Yeah, crypto, all these videos get automatically uploaded to YouTube. That way you can like fast forward through all this nonsense, right? Okay, Mog, and then we'll stop there and then we'll start looking at some stuff. H-bar ecosystem, oh no. Hold on, sorry, there's a few others. MMTR, we are going deep today, which is good because MMTR, is that on here? I don't even know. I don't think that's the right thing, but maybe. We're going deep because I don't really have too much to talk about anyway, so this is good. It gives us a little agenda. CAD, like the Canadian dollar. Is there a Canadian dollar index? CAD futures. Let's just do USD CAD because I don't know what else to look at there. Speaking of CAD, UJ is absolutely ready to just go to the moon, as they say. Palm Panther Metals, okay. FXS, I assume that's the crypto. All right. Tezos, we move up. Strax, and then we'll pause. We'll make some fun charts. That's that, and that's that. Do we need to organize this? Can I add? Can I add market cap? No. Let's start with the majors. You know, we can talk about funding and OI and all this other stuff. At the end of the day, it hasn't really changed too much. The biggest thing I saw today, funding is up a little bit. I don't want to sound like complacent on that. The biggest thing today I saw on MSTR today was Carisdale. I forget the name of the fund, but they came out and they said they are long BTC, short MSTR. And today MSTR is down. It was down 15% at some point today. I mean, I think everybody wishes them luck. I don't think anybody sees this trade and thinks like that can't happen. That can't, as in, it doesn't make sense that this is the premium down here. This premium doesn't make sense, right? So it makes sense that somebody and many other people are trying to come in here and sell this off. It's just good luck, you know? Good luck. But that's definitely what's going on. And previously, what got us into trouble on the Bitcoin side, every all-time high or whatever was smacked down here because the people in this pair trade were covering their short on MSTR and then buying, selling Bitcoin, right? So we may run into that same issue again, where if there's a lot of people doing this trade and it goes against them, that means it hurts spot BTC because they have to sell the Bitcoin to cover their short. So I don't know, right? We had one firm allegedly blow up last week trying to do this. And the question is, how long can this new firm stay solvent? What are their disaster plans? I have no idea, but I would be terrified to take this trade in size, even though it makes all the sense in the world. I think it's tough because if this goes against you, like, you know, the market can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent, you know? Carisdale Capital, thank you, yeah. So that's part of the reason probably why today MSTR is down as much as it is relative to Bitcoin. For people in the MSTR trade, many of them probably have no idea what any of this is about, right? They just see something going to infinity and they're like, oh, short squeeze, GME, I'm in, right? But you definitely have to be careful. I don't think MSTR is a buy up here whatsoever. Again, it's all about the premium. To me, you're better off buying BitX, you're better off buying spot, you're better off buying any of the other ETFs, and that's that. I mean, it's just that simple. It's also very extended above the pitchfork on the 3-day. Not that that realistically means anything, but just all the more reason. There's plenty of TA evidence that says this thing is in outer space, right? Yearly pivots, it basically hit the R5 yearly pivot. It very nearly closed inside of the target, the all-time high target. This target, by the way, I've said this for like a few other coins. This target is like the 100K BTC target. And it already got there, right? So realistically, like how much more do you want with a premium in the near term? All right, so that's enough about MSTR for the 5 people that care, but I just think you're better off buying literally anything else, because this thing is just so overextended relative to the premium discount stuff. I mean, it's the opposite trade of GBTC, right? GBTC had that discount. That's when you want to buy something like that as an idea. You don't want to buy MSTR at a whatever 60% premium to NAV or whatever that is. Speaking of premiums and discounts, ETH, which is the Grayscale product, has come down on the discount. So the discount has increased by a lot. I think this is the market generally just saying, yeah, we're probably not getting that ETF in May. That's how I would read this. And this isn't about like being right or wrong. This is just doing the game theory and saying like, okay, if the signs for an ETF look better, I would expect the the discount to decrease, right? So the discount goes closer to 0. If there is a denial as a trade idea, I would hope that this expands, the discount expands to like 40%, okay? And if that's the case, when that happens, I think that's when I personally would want to buy back into ETH. But up here, there's nothing, I don't think there's anything to do, but I do think that's a great trade setup as an idea, watching a news event or a market reaction. You know, that's where I'd consider getting back in. The same thing with ETH BTC. I know I've been bearish on this for a long time. I don't really care about being right or wrong. I'm just saying, look, it doesn't look happy, right? And I just know there are so many people with heavy ETH bags who are probably going to get chomped to pieces when this thing breaks down. So if this is a failed diamond, this could go as low as 0.4 basically, right? If we zoom way out, take off the pivots. I just mentioned this again, not because I'm in an active trade on this, but I'll get rid of those notes. If this does break down, right, the question is like, where would it be bearish enough to start to buy is the question I'm asking. I think sub 0.4 would make sense to me. What's up, Dangles? What's up, Murr? So yeah, you can't trade this pair directly. It's a mess, clearly. It is just all over the place. But as an idea, as an allocation, I'm still bearish on this. If you look at any of the trend metrics on any time frame, it is not pretty, right? The fundamentals for ETH aren't really there right now, in my opinion. So that's going to help this breakdown. It's hard to compete with Solana when all of retail is using Solana. It's cheaper, it's faster. People do not give two cahoots about about decentralization. They just don't. I think ETH is the better chain of the two, to be clear, but the fees are just too much still, even with the layer 2s for retail. I was gonna say legacy. But I love using the chain. I love using ETH layer 2s. Love it, personally. I have no issues with that at all. So this isn't a statement on like the quality of the ecosystem. It's just this is what's going on, right? 2-day, daily, 3-day, cloud. It's probably harder to see, but all of this stuff just looks miserable. 050 is a massive psychological support as well. So again, from a buyer's perspective, I want this to sell off, right? I want to see panic, and ideally, this is Kraken, but ideally you see volumes just explode, right? Let's do the index divided by. So like I would want to see, assuming, can you guys see that? Yeah. Assuming the index volumes are correct, I would love to see just an explosion in volume on this thing once this breaks down. So yeah, I'm still very bearish on that. But in a sense, I'm bullish on the prospect of this finding a bounce somewhere around 04. Let me just go to, well, here's FET. So this is Kraken Pro, sponsor of this very channel. Love Kraken Pro for spot. I love them for on-ramping, off-ramping between DeFi and layer 2s. They have all that functionality. So it's really, 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 really handy and useful. As far as the AI stuff, this was one of them, obviously, FET. And on a lot of this stuff, I'm kind of saying, like, you know, your entries were here and here. What do you do up here? Well, you can play this, like, cup and handle game that I'm kind of playing with Bitcoin right now. It looks good. I think this is an all-time high, right? For FET, I think. So sure, right? The market still likes AI stuff. Why not? This thing, for whatever reason, you know, when we were screening Ocean BTC, when we were screening alts, this is one that I kept looking at. I don't have any of this, just to be clear, but I kept looking at it and I kept saying, like, this is one of the charts of like the 500 that I've seen against Bitcoin that actually looks really, really good. And it continues to look good. I don't know how far this goes. Like, we can measure, let's measure some fibs here. Conservative target is like 3,000 sats. Some people actually took this trade, so good for them. I did not. I should have. I just didn't. So yeah, that's the target. We'll get rid of all this stuff too. So it looks great, right? You know, it looks like stacks. If we go to like this chart, I think they have a BTC, don't they? I thought they had a stacks BTC, but maybe not. Let's just bounce around. It's like the stacks BTC chart. Same thing, you know, just a massive, pretty ugly, like diagonal, you know, the triple bottom attempt. I don't know. I couldn't even tell you what Ocean does, honestly. You know, something like this. Stacks kind of almost getting to its target on the BTC pair. It has on the USD pair, if we go to that real quick. Again, something else I don't own any of, but let's go to Binance. There we go. I talked about this on the video yesterday. With something like this, like what I want to get in this here, I would not. It hit the target. This was a 3-year consolidation. Do I sell everything up here if I own this? No, but I think I sell some, 10, 20%. Now, if you're convicted that this thing goes higher in the cycle, you do nothing, right? It looks good. It still looks fine. It's just, it's up what? 750% in 6 months? 750 in 6 months. I'm just saying. All I'm saying is I'm saying. That is a lot of percent, you know? All right, let me catch up on chat. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. Give me a like, dislike, or whatever. Say hi in chat. That always helps, too. Tron, Bearish, Storage. The Cardano fanboy still going at it. Cardano transactions contain multiple. Yes, batching transactions is common for all chains. 421 million TVL. Not good enough, really, honestly. Sorry, just isn't. HBAR ecosystem also. I don't personally care about this stuff. I can understand it's like an emerging market type thing. Yeah, I'll check out XLM in a second. We talked about all that. Talked about that. Energy stocks ticking up already seems a bit early, even if the rate cut is July. Yeah. The energy stuff, I'm worried because that'll bake its way into inflation, and risk markets shouldn't do well in that environment if inflation is back up again. That includes Bitcoin. But if we are decoupled from that narrative and people are seeking an alternative away from the dollar or treasuries or whatever, then it doesn't really matter. But I don't think we're quite there yet on the asset allocation side. Alternative Bitcoin pairings, for example, Bitcoin versus NASDAQ. Yeah, I talked about that in one of the videos that, let me just pull that up real quick. BTC versus the NASDAQ is, we're just crushing, right? And I was saying in the video, like, why should I allocate into anything else if we are at all-time highs relative to all this stuff? Like, you go through the list of any of your favorite stocks that look good or any of that stuff, and like, yeah, there's an argument for risk, there's an argument for being too concentrated, but if we're beating the broad indices, if we're beating TLT, if we're beating like literally everything, gold, Nvidia is like one of the few that we haven't been just spanking the pants off of. If we're beating all of that consistently, like, what's the point, right? Look at this insane signal here pre last halving. Oh man, that looks even better as an IHS there than it does on spot. But yeah, we look really good against NASDAQ, against S&P, against IWM. Like, the list goes on and on and on. And to the TradFi world, that really helps suck in their money, because if we are outperforming the benchmark, then that's an easy sell, right? BitX all the way. Yeah, I love BitX. BitX is great. It's probably not a multi cycle hold, but it's good as a trading vehicle. Josh is the least annoying guru out of all of them. Well, thank you, Stream to Watch. Dartmouth. Yeah, there was a time when I lived around Dartmouth. That's why I have this hoodie. What else we got? Updating the Ichi sheet. Oh yeah, I should update. Thanks for reminding me. I should update that again. I'm always looking for stuff to talk about on Tuesdays, so. Ichi screener. Doge has its glory. Doge dominance. Yeah. Doge ain't doing nothing. We all take a look at that. What's up? BOC. NVIDIA BTC TK crossed bearish on the 1 week. All right, let's take a look at that. NVIDIA BTC is bearish. So that should mean, it's funny, you guys look at this stuff on the cloud and whatnot more than I do. I rarely look at these pair trades on the cloud, but you're right. You know, I was looking at kind of this level. So this is NVIDIA against Bitcoin. This level has like led to bottomy type stuff as a rejection previously. You can see 2022 and 2023 NVIDIA gained a lot of ground. If we look at, where is it? Like where would I rotate back into NVIDIA, hypothetically? If this is the top, it would be all the way down there. Whatever that is on the ratio, 0.003 something. It is, I find it interesting to look at all this stuff in pair trades. Just because, again, like, you're literally asking yourself, at least I'm asking myself this question, like, okay, I have X amount of money. What do I want to do, right? And it's hard to want to allocate into this stuff when Bitcoin's just winning, just flat out winning, or the trend's reversing. Like this looks like this is potentially trying to roll over. And if we break the cloud support, yeah. Dominance also looks very strong. Bitcoin dominance, not Doge dominance. Bitcoin dominance, to me, I'm with Ben Cowan, okay? Ben's been bullish on dominance for God knows how long. I've been bullish on dominance since it sort of bottomed and broke into the cloud. It had this, I don't think it's Wycovian or anything, but a million bottom attempts, right? Just over and over and over again. It got into the weekly cloud, and that was kind of it. Since then, it's kind of just been slowly grinding higher. And I know Ben gets a lot of crap for talking about it all the time, but he's right. Most alts are losing against Bitcoin. They just are. Yes, on a daily basis, some of these are up. This one's up 67%. Is Bitcoin up 67% today? It is not. So yeah, you're always going to find alts that are doing okay, right? Like that isn't what this is about. This is like broad-based investing. Just suggesting Bitcoin is still where it's at. If you can find the lowest risk, best performing asset, why would you go all in something that's super risky and hyper volatile, right? That's the argument here. It's like S&P versus NVIDIA, S&P versus, I don't know, some other name that's super volatile, like TLT or something. I don't know, right? It's all about risk, volatility, drawdown, how much do you want to eat? All people ever see on the altcoin side is Velo up 68%, right? In a week or a day. They never see drawdown. They never see pullback. They never see consolidation. This is all they see. All they see is the green. But if you've been here long enough, you know that eventually this thing's going to come crashing down to earth. Now, it might take 2 years to do that, but eventually it's going to collapse, okay? That isn't to say you shouldn't be playing around with this stuff, because I think it's great. It's basically leveraged on-chain alts, right? That's all they really are. It's just another type of leverage. But broadly, dominance clearly still winning, and looks like it's going to break out. To me, to Ben, to anybody else with half a brain who's paying attention to this thing. I forget where he thinks this goes, but I think this goes to 60% pretty easily. Yeah, we can talk about, let me finish going through the majors, then we'll talk about the list. Bitcoin, let's just take a look at that chart real quick. If I can find, there it is. So I don't know if I want to tell this personal story, but let's just say I was AFK Monday, okay? AFK Monday, we were watching this thing, I was talking about it, I was tweeting about it. I was ready, right? I could have easily started to open this Sunday night, Saturday. Didn't. I could have easily set orders on this thing for slightly higher on the breakout. I didn't. I just sort of dropped the ball because I was kind of afraid that Barry was going to come in and slam us down based on the flows. It just didn't happen. We just you know, Monday in like 2 hours, we went from 67 to 60 to 70. And it's kind of just been lights out. So since then, I've wanted a slightly deeper pullback to 67. Didn't get that either. Now we're kind of setting up for potentially this cup and handle stuff, which I'm all about. I love it. Even if it's not technically a cup and handle, it probably will play out as one. It measures to 80K basically. Yeah, I mean, the thing about this week too is it's a short week. It's end of the quarter. It's end of the month. April typically super bullish as far as seasonality is concerned. We won't have flows from the ETFs for 3 days versus 2. Does that matter? Right? I don't know. All just things to think about. But I still think this looks great. The fractals, Williams fractals, love entries at any higher high, which makes sense. Stop loss here is basically any lower low below the current handle at 68.3. And that's it. That's kind of the trade. But because I missed it stupidly in fear, right? In fear of GBTC, I'm just kind of boned on this entire move. But it looks good. It looks good for up. It looks good for all-time highs. If we break below the 4-hour cloud, I'd be more concerned. So that's like 66. Anything below that, and we're probably in trouble. On the daily, the cloud isn't exactly happy here still, because we have a TKC clamp. We're far away, but not too far away from the Kijun. So I don't want to sound like this is an impossibility that this goes higher. But if this starts to break below 64, then we're in trouble, because then we've got an inverted cup and handle, right? Or whatever this is at that point. Sunday I was talking about this head and shoulders thing that we pretty much have negated at this point. We closed above the daily Williams fractal, which was at 68, right? So this should lead to bullish continuation. We can also check the alligator. So even the alligator was sort of questioning whether or not this would be continuation. The alligator is just 3 moving averages, the 5, 8, and the 13. On any of the crisscrosses, that's where your entries should be for trend. And when this starts to break the midpoint of the alligator, that's the stop loss cutoff, basically. So even on the alligator fractal stuff on the daily, you got stopped out. It's been noisy. It's been choppy. It looks like kind of how it did at 43, where the alligator's crisscrossing on itself. So this looks bullish again, right? That's pretty much it. On the weekly cloud, we don't have a single support fractal or a single stop loss fractal until 39, let's call it. There's a TK separation here. We're far away from the Kijun. All this stuff just says we're overbought, not like, oh, we can't continue, right? If we turn on the 20-week moving average, that's also at 50, we'll call it. So if we were to break down, I like 50. 50 from 64, basically. I don't think that's in the cards at the moment. I think chop or up is more probable than 50. Once we start to break 64, then we can talk 50. But up chop looks very much like what's going to be happening. So it still looks very good. Looks very good. Alts are doing well. Legacy's doing okay. And everything sort of just fine. This will be the highest weekly all-time, or the highest weekly close ever, all-time high close. Last night we were also talking about the monthly. The monthly cloud, okay, is incredibly turbo, insanely bullish because you're getting a bullish DK cross, bullish cloud, Kumo twist, price above cloud. It's insane. It's insanely bullish. The problem is you can't open a 500x long up here because, you know, lots of stuff can happen in the monthly candle, but we look very, very good on the monthly. And you can see historically, we don't ever really retest the Kijun on the monthly, the red line, in these moves. So we look very good. Bitcoin looks very, very good. Very, very good. That's kind of it, you know? I like 80 as the yearly pivot. If we break up, the real question is, do we break all-time highs on the weekend? I think if we do, the weekday, the next week, April, is going to be insane. But I still think chop until probably Monday. Where would I get in? So if you're like me and messed up the entry, that was incredibly obvious. Either you're accumulating in the handle of the cup and handle with a stop loss again at 68, or you are waiting for higher highs, which is what the fractals are always going to tell you. The entry is any higher high up here. So it sounds counterintuitive, maybe to some people, but the fractals continually try to make you buy strength and avoid weakness. So any high above 71 would be a buy based on the fractals. Do we talk about ETH? Do we need to talk about ETH? I talked about ETH a little bit. Nobody asked about ETH. That's funny. I mean, I did say I'd go over the majors, so let's talk about ETH real quick. ETH, I think it's kind of the same story. ETH had a breakout. If we take off the cloud, just take off the fractals, pivots. ETH had a similar structure, had the breakout. Let's redraw this to that, okay. Had the breakout, just kind of hanging out here. ETH on the daily cloud looks fine. The longer we sort of chill here without momentum, the longer the possibility of bearish TK cross, price within the cloud, right? All that stuff sort of perks up as a possibility. But if Bitcoin is bullish, ETH will benefit from that. It's just a question of how much. We already talked about ETH BTC. I said that looked incredibly tragic. Solana, if I can find my notes. Okay, maybe not. Is it on this side? Solana. We will get there. There it is. Nope, just kidding. There we go. Solana. So Solana had this Adam and Eve that went nowhere. It had a 4-hour TK crisscross that's currently in action, aka bullish, leaning bullish. It's still in this ascending triangle. The 4-hour looks fine to me. I like that we're consolidating below the yearly pivot, which is what this orange line is. As long as Solana can hold above the 4-hour cloud, I like continuation. This pattern should play out as you expect, assuming Bitcoin's bullish, assuming everything's bullish. I think it looks fine. So I like it here. I like it higher. I don't like it in the 4-hour cloud. On the daily, take off the pivots for a second. Daily also looks fine. The last entry was TK crisscross at 96 or the cup and handle thing at 118. Up here it looks fine. You know, it's not super overbought. It's not anything really. So I could see this slowly lifting to an all-time high retest within the next couple weeks, easily 260. And then the ETH people are going to get even more mad. what does this chart look like? ETH Sol. So yeah, that's at all-time lows. This is something else to watch if this just gets incredibly overextended. Let's just do, let's flip this around. Again, as a trade idea, I don't really care about either chain. I'm just here to make money, let's be honest. But something to watch here is if, let's just be conservative. If Sol ETH goes to 0.1, that's the level to rotate. Potentially, right? Now, if Sol ETH goes to 0.1 and ETH just doesn't give up or just gives up without a fight, then maybe this goes higher. But that's where I would watch if we get a leg down on ETH BTC or whatever. Because that would be the psychological level where people would start to rotate, or it would look overextended. It's the fib level. You could argue cup and handle on this thing, but it looks very strong against ETH for sure. Any other major that we care about before we go down the list here? I don't think so. Realistically, I don't think so. This was the stuff from last stream. I don't think anything, really Doge was the biggest winner from last stream that we talked about. LRC kind of flat, HYG breaking out a little bit. What else? Stacks, again, like, probably gonna hear me say this a lot, but there's not really anything to do. Stacks looks great. It had the breakout, had the retest. Maybe you're worried about some channel up here, but it still looks totally fine to me. What else did we look at last stream? PayPal we're going to look at. I think PayPal looks great. Hood looks great. There's a lot of legacy stuff that looks good down here. All right, let's go down the list. Let me just reorder. We'll put ADA by Doge. What else do I want to put up there? Most of this other stuff is junk, honestly, so I don't really care. Okay, BNB BTC maybe? Maybe that should be first. All right, if you're at this point in the stream, I will timestamp it so that we all can enjoy this list together. It's like ESPN when they have that thing on the side and the commentators. Anyway, BNB BTC. So for all of this stuff, you probably need like a high and a low time frame view. On trend, most of this stuff against Bitcoin is going to be trend bearish on the high time frames, as BNB BTC is here. On low time frames, some of this stuff will probably start to look bottomy. I don't think there's anything here on this, on the daily, on the weekly. BNB historically has had great runs above trend resistance, we'll say it like that. So we're not quite there yet. And this is going to be most of the BTC pairs on high time frames. They just need, I said it in the video last week, but they need like months, most likely. At least a quarter is my guess. So again, I'm with Ben, right? Ben's always talking about rates and post-halving. I agree. That's historically when this stuff does best. If we turn on halving, BNB had I guess is this COVID? No, it's not COVID. So post-halving last time, BNB against Bitcoin sold off pretty hard. So as a long-term view, it needs to be above a trend metric that people care about. Doge, on the other hand, against Bitcoin even, starting to look very good. Doge trying to get above the weekly cloud which is, I can't even say it. It's crazy, right? It looks good. It continues to look good. It had a little bit of a consolidation. Let's go to this other chart. I think I have notes on. It had a consolidation. Looks fine. You know, I don't think there's anything to be worried about necessarily trend-wise. The breakout was like 10 cents when it got in the weekly cloud. It looks fine, you know. I don't know what to tell people. Would I take this on 100x leverage? No, but it looks really good. It looks good. It's kind of it. What are the targets? I don't know, like 30 cents, 38 cents. Any of that stuff looks fine. But it looks very bullish for sure. We'll go to the monthly. Just wild. It looks good. No doubt about it. And it's early because it's pre-halving. Cardano, I talked about this one in the video. The best entries are always this TK crisscross stuff, and we're well past that now. For some of these, I think AVAX is one. There's this worry of, at least for me, head and shoulders on the daily. And really what I care about on these higher caps against Bitcoin, like what does that chart look like? Because that chart is pretty bearish against Bitcoin. And again, if we're objective about it, like where would we want to buy this? I don't even know. Maybe like down here would be something to watch for. I don't think I'd touch it. I wouldn't touch at the current local low. I would want to wait. Again, if we compare to halving, post-halving, last halving, ADA sold off too, right? So that would be like the zone I would set alerts for. The USD pair it's in the weekly cloud, but if it's getting crushed by Bitcoin, why bother? AVAX, kind of the same thing. AVAX on the ultra low time frames looks kind of angry to me. You know, it had this like support here. I don't know. Up here, like to me, again, I know I'm speaking for my risk appetite and whatever else, but I wouldn't want to touch any of this stuff if it has to look amazing relative to Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin is at all-time highs. We're pre-halving. We've got ETFs. We've got all the reasons in the world Bitcoin should do really well. So unless these charts look really good, I just don't see a purpose, personally. It looks fine, right? But again, if we go against BTC, it just looks okay. If you go against, let's go against Solana. I was having this argument with somebody. AVAX against Sol looks bearish. Okay, so I was having this argument. I was saying, like, if Solana is incredibly bullish and it's more risky than Bitcoin, why do we need to go down to something intermediate or something 5 times as risky, right? At least for me. But this does not look good for AVAX. Bearish. All right, render. Render AI daily looks fine. Again, the best entries were there and there. Do I sell here? Probably something because it's up 10x in 6 months. Do I buy here? No, because it's up 10x in 6 months. That's pretty much it, right? It's at all-time highs. Do I sell everything here? No. Do I sell something here? Probably. Low time frames. Again, it's got this, I can't unsee this stuff, okay? So until it is free and clear of whatever's going on here, then I definitely wouldn't be a buyer up here. I'm curious against BTC because think I've seen it against Bitcoin recently. I mean, look, that's a great trade. Again, my mental denomination is always Bitcoin, and if we are up 500% against Bitcoin in 2 years, that is a great rotation back to BTC for me. That's just me. Sui. So Sui on the daily. Again, your entries were here, and your entry wasn't too long ago. I think I mentioned this on one of the videos probably last week. This looks really good. It looks good. How high does this go from here? I don't know. It's probably an all-time high, right? It looks good. It looks like bullish continuation. If the entire market is bullish, this should do well. Trend says it should do well. Looks fine. Against Bitcoin, is there a pair? Against Bitcoin, it is kind of chopping around. It's just neutral. I would want it, you know, above the cloud there, but just neutral. Arrow. This is on base, right? So again, the entry, you know, you get your ascending triangle. This was like, what, 2 weeks? Ascending triangle. What else we got down here? TK crisscross. This is a 4-hour, by the way. So up here, what would I do? I'm not a buyer all the way up here. This is also up. This was March. We're still in March, right? Let's go March 1st. So this is up 250% in a month. I just can't buy something that's up 250%. For the cycle, it might do another 6,000%. I don't know. But, you know, I'd want this thing to calm down a little bit before I touch it. The 4-hour cloud says it's losing steam a little bit. On the low time frame, I don't know. Looks overextended to me, but I don't want somebody to come back at me in 6 months and say, you said Arrow was garbage and I sold it at $1 and now it's at $10. Look, I don't know. Yeah, it could go. I'm just saying. On low time frames right now, looks overextended. Velo. Speaking of overextended, so it's sub 50 cents, sub 40 cents, which really helps it from a integer bias retail perspective. This 13 cents was the breakout, okay. And even if I take off the cloud, you can see, I hope when people see this, they recognize that stuff. At least I do, I don't know. My eyes are just like glued to looking for patterns like that. Obviously, it's super late to get in on the inverted head and shoulders, the Adam and Eve, whatever this was. So to me, the train left the station in the near term on this thing. Where does this go? I have no idea, right? No idea. It is up 350% in the half a month. I don't know. What are people doing with this? I assume the non-seasoned trader would just hold this. The person who knows too much and has seen what happens here probably just sells every 5%, I'd imagine. You know, most people aren't. I gotta say this carefully. Most people probably who don't trade just hold this thinking it's going to go to infinity, whereas people who have traded for a little bit are a little probably more responsible, is my guess. You know, and again, this thing could go to $16 this cycle. I don't know. What do I know? They're both solidly forks. If I knew what that was, that might help me. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Prime. Again, the entries the entries for trend have been great, were great. You had a invalidated head and shoulders here. You know, it looks good. What do you do with this though? Am I a buyer all the way up here? Absolutely not. But it looks fine. It looks fine. You know, we can measure each of these consolidations. It has continuously gotten higher. This was a ascending triangle down there. This is well above its measured move. I don't know. It looks fine. I wouldn't buy it up here. I would want to catch it when it consolidates. So that might not be for a good long while at this point. Maybe we could, is there like a channel on this maybe? I'm assuming it is way above whatever channel this might be. All right, so way above is an over-exaggeration, but whenever possible, if there's a channel on something, I would definitely visually just mark it because, again, this tells me we are above trend, right? This is where you want to catch it. Up here, I would not personally desire to buy it up here. Yeah, I did doge at a few minutes ago. You can rewind to check that, but it looks good. Where does it go? I don't know, 40 cents in the near term, potentially. Probably not this week or this month, but it looks fine. Ondo, again, looks fine. What do you do up here? I'm not a buyer. For all this stuff, much like the cup and handle trade on Bitcoin, you could just say, well, if it makes a new higher high, I'm in. Then it's more of like a sizing question, right? Trend looks fine. Ultra low time frame. Is there like another channel on this? Kinda. It looks fine, right? I don't have a lot to say. I can't even really give you a target because what do we even measure? You know, this was the last drawdown consolidation. It hit the fib target. So now what? Now you just like, right, you just extend this channel and you say, well, you know, the target in April could be like $1.40. That's about as far as I could go, really. Ordy. Let's go all the way up. Immediately giving me bearish vibes. Just based on this. Now maybe it's an ascending triangle. Maybe if we extend this. But this is painful to sit in. I also don't like that. I don't know. I'm not bullish on this. I think the ordinal stuff has calmed down a lot too, so that doesn't help. Best case, this is an ascending triangle with a target to 120. Worst case, this breaks down. That's all I got on that one. Stacks we talked about a bunch already. Looks good. Am I a buyer up here? No. It's up a bajillion % in 6 months. What does RSI say? RSI says bear div-ish. I don't know. I would wait for this one to come back down to earth personally. What is going on with this? I don't know what this is. Is this anything? I don't think so. Yeah, maybe it's maybe it's whatever this right angled broadening wedge or whatever this is called. I don't know. Not for me. Just think it's up too much in a very short time frame. CASP. Again, it's got this immediate channel that you can probably see just visually. It's almost like, let's do this scientifically. It's got something going on, right? I don't know. This thing's basically been up only for a long time. It's kind of losing momentum. I don't know. Like, what do you do with this up here? There's no trade for me up here. I think you catch it, you wait to catch it on a breakout on the cloud. There. So your next move would be somewhere up here, but I don't really see anything at the moment for that one. Pepe. This was one. Let's go to Binance. I think they have more crypto. Yeah, there we go. So Pepe broke out big time down there. Okay, it's overextended. It's in the almost at the R5 yearly pivot. It is up almost 1,000% in a month. Okay, I think you know where I'm going with this. Probably consolidates here and makes a decision. I don't know what this is, if anything. I have no idea. Maybe this? But it's up 1,000% in a month. 2 months, let's call it. Like, you know, just for me, there's better stuff to look at and trade. You missed it. Sorry, dear retail, you missed it. GRT has looked really good against almost everything. It broke out of the ascending triangle that this was in. The target on GRT was about 30 to 36 cents. You know, it looks okay, but where do you get in is the question. I don't really have a great answer. Looks fine. I don't know. I don't really have an opinion. It would need to pull back a little bit, I think, for me to want to jump into that one. INJ. Some old notes on this. It has reached its bear market fib extension target. So, you know, for me, it's good. That's good enough, right? Like, how much more do we want here? This is up 4,000%. 4,000%. For me, that's enough. 4,000% in a year, I'll take it. Okay. On the daily, it is pre-bullish TK cross. So that would be your signal, your alert, whatever you want to think about that as. If this can creep up to 44, sure. That's all-time highs, right? Is it bearish? No. Is it up 4,000% in a year? 2 years? Yeah. So just be careful with that one. But it looks fine. It looks fine. CeeLo. CeeLo kind of looks like most of these alts that are trying to recover. You know, against Bitcoin. I'm sorry I have to do this to you, CeeLo person. That's not the chart, is it? I don't know why it did that. CeeLo, let's try that. There we go. CeeLo USD against Bitcoin. You know, maybe you're hoping for a bottom here. On the USD pair looks fine, but you're not beating BTC most likely anytime soon. Rollbit. Oh man, Rollbit. Is there a better chart for this? Not really. Is this the right, yeah, roll Bitcoin. You know, like nothing, flat, garbage. There's nothing here, guys. If this is the right chart, which I think it is. RLB, I guess we can check on, okay, that's a little better. I don't see anything here personally. Maybe you're hoping for some like megaphone thing to play out. So like the target would be up here. I don't know. Not a fan personally. LYX. Well, that one's straight down, so that's not good. I think this is Luxo, right? Yeah, I think this is what they asked. Not bullish, clearly. What are we doing with this? You're always trying to find some sort of consolidation level or something. I don't know. I don't have anything here. Bearish. You know, again, like there's way better stuff. I do not buy weakness. I buy strength, and this is the opposite of strength. So that's not for me. PRQ. Hope you're paying attention, PRQ. Enjoyer. You single individual. Bullish. Rising wedge, right? Looks fine. Looks okay. I don't know. Not for me. I think there's better stuff out there, but if this breaks up, it should do decently okay. Just because I'm mean, let's look at... That is decidedly less bullish against Bitcoin. Until it gets above highs, it's probably just ranging or bearish. Metis. Kind of looks similar to the PRQ chart, honestly. It's just okay. I keep seeing on some of these charts, you know, I keep seeing the head and shoulders fractals like over and over again. Like this, I don't like it here either, right? Like, it's not for me. Now, the other question is if this breaks up, where does it go? Take the high, take the low. 200 to 220. This could just be a ugly flag or something up here. I don't know. Same thing. Again, it's like, is this a flag? Is this a rising wedge? Is this a head and shoulders fractal? What else could this be up here? Is this a rising channel? We can look at it on trend, right? Trend probably says it looks fine, which it does. It is up 900% in 6 months. I rest my case. Now, to be clear, I was probably bearish on this thing down here, okay? But I'm not an altcoiner, you know? That's not me. It looks fine. It looks fine. I would just be careful if this breaks the channel up here. CTSI. Looks okay. W double bottom, right? Trying to break out 40 to, so basically hit its target on the consolidation. I don't got anything else there really. It's in the weekly cloud, just needs tons and tons of time. All these charts most likely are going to look better, assuming we don't have a depression style recession globally, right? All these charts should look better in Q4 later in the year. That we talked about briefly. You know, it's looked bullish, still looks bullish. I'm not a buyer up here. It's up a lot in a short time. Yeah, looks fine. Looks fine. It's not screaming bearish, right? You know, if you're holding some of this stuff for a while or have been, unless there's like some clear multi-month consolidation bearish, right? Then I wouldn't be fearful up here. An example of what that might look like is, I think it was better probably on Kraken. So this is dot. If we roll back, let's go back to like here. You know, look, if your chart looks like this on a high time frame, then I'd be a little bit more fearful. You don't want to see reversal patterns. You don't want to see breaking support. You don't want to see multiple weeks lower, okay? We're so early in the cycle. Most of this stuff, if I was up a bajillion %, I would just hold it. But when it starts to look like this, then you know the party's over, okay? I mean, even like right there, that's enough for me to say, okay, you know, this was up, again, 800%, 900%, 1,000% from the lows. People are asking you about it up here, right? Oh, there's dot, auctions, parachains, AVM, blah, 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 right? Same stuff as this cycle. So if it starts to look like it lost momentum, if it starts to look bearish on high time frames, yeah, then I would get worried, but not really seeing that across the board. True USD looks fine, W double bottom. Looks like CTSI, you know, again, if you're bullish on this stuff for whatever reason, and it survived a 2-year consolidation, it looks great. It looks great. Not bearish at all. What is the target? Doesn't even matter. Just the target is whatever happens in this cycle, okay? Like, let's be honest. If you think you're bullish on this cycle, there's nothing to do. You may lose on a relative value basis, but if you're bullish on this, there's nothing to do. SHIB. Good old SHIB. Oh, baby. I don't know. Again, it's up. You know, like, that's too mean. Let's do, whatever this was. Something like this. Some sort of curved monstrosity. The cloud was there. It's a breakout. It looks fine. It's up 200% in a month. I don't know, right? Like, the breakout's kind of over. So now what? If the entire ecosystem is bullish, why not? But not for me up here. Bonk. Bonkaroony. Kind of the same. Just trying to dial in the time frame to where the cloud makes sense. Kind of the same thing on Bonk. It broke out, it went insane. The Bonk phone. Do you remember the Bonk phone? Does everybody have 6 Bonk phones like I do? You didn't reserve 6? I reserved 6. I'm kidding. It looks okay. I guess I would wait for this thing above the cloud again and hope for another 200% move. So you could set an alert, whatever level this is. You could also just measure the high to low, and we get whatever number that is, right? I don't know what that is in dollars, but you know, up here would be the next target. But it's definitely ranging, consolidating here. Beam. Let's check a different ticker. Beam falling out of the daily cloud. Oh boy, that's not good. I don't see anything here. I guess you could hope for a triple bottom down here, you know? Something like that. Doesn't look bullish for sure. Does not look bullish. Ocean. Absolute rocket ship. Pew, pew, pew. It looks fine, right? Like, you know, it's got news, it's got whatever AI nonsense on its side. The entry was down there on the daily, right? I wouldn't touch it up here. Also had some sort of like falling channel that it broke out of before that. I don't know. Looks fine. That's about all I got. Where does it go from here? I think we talked about this a second ago. I don't know. I guess you could just measure that. 2 to 2, basically listing price, right? It probably goes higher this cycle, but that's the immediate target I would look at. Ocean BTC we talked about. I think this is one of the best looking charts against Bitcoin because it's pre-breakout. It's consolidated for years, right? This is the type of thing I like. I want evidence that this thing has a pulse. And it's suffered, right? It suffered for 2-3 years. And it lived long enough to be here for the AI narrative or whatever's going on. Looks good. Looks really good. Ton, is there a better chart for this? There is. Ton on the cloud. And again, you know what I'm going to say probably. Breakout was there. It's up a lot. It's up a ton in a week or two, whatever this is. 150%. You could even argue whatever this breakout was here, it's even past that. Not a buy for me up here. Needs to come down, but it's clearly bullish. Clearly bullish. Sell frame. Somebody asked me about this? I don't even remember. Sell frame. Sure. I mean, I laugh, but this is the type of thing. If this can hold above the daily cloud, or 4-hour cloud, sorry. Sure. You know, it's the exact same type of thing. In early March. Where does this go? Well, we could say, you know, some sort of channel thing here. Why not, right? So what is that? Whatever this is up here would be the next target I'd watch for. 350, 450, something like that. CRO. CRO. Ugly downtrend on that thing. Yikes. But since last year, you know, it's done really well. Looks okay. Doesn't look, you know, it's consolidating. Tapped the Kijun. That was the entry. That was the entry. Again, this is why you want to stock this stuff on some high time frame cloud. Wait for the multi-year breakout. You know, that was the entry. Even had a little bit of a fake out here, but okay, you know, you put a smart stop on it. That was the entry. So I don't have anything in particular. The target, the cycle target, may be like 50 cents. I'm sure that's losing against Bitcoin. Agix, I don't know. It's like FET, it's like Ocean, it looks fine. What are they going to do with the merger with the coins? I have no idea. What are they going to do with the new coin? I have no idea. I don't know. Looks fine. The challenge is to find something Josh would buy. That's fair. The the part about this current moment in the cycle is we are 6 months out of bullishness. So like most of these charts, the good ones had their breakouts months ago. They ran through the weekly cloud. This chart isn't bearish. It's like, what do you do up here? Do you buy all-time highs? I'd rather buy than sell all-time highs, but it's up a lot in a short amount of time. Sand, now this is one, again, much like Ocean BTC. I like this chart a lot. Does that mean it goes anywhere? I have no idea, right? The reasons why I like this chart: pain, death, devastation, just months of garbage, right? Love it. Okay. I wasn't there for that. I'm here for whatever's happening here. And I'm going to draw this. Okay. So, yeah. This is the stuff I like. No matter how you try to slice this, this looks infinitely better pre-breakout than a lot of this stuff that's already at all-time highs to me to jump into. So that looks great. Sin BTC. It looks okay. I don't even know what this is. Chop? Mega Chop? Turbo Chop? Uber Chop? I have no idea. What does the cloud say? The cloud is also confused. I don't know. I don't have a good answer there. Just, it's way too choppy. I have no idea. Flat, rangy, chop. Algo, this is another one like sand. Again, like this thing has died off for years, found a bottom, starting to make higher highs. The weekly cloud loves it. Okay. Love algo here. Love it. Absolutely love it. Same thing with Filecoin. For the same exact reasons. Down only for years. Years sideways in the cloud. I mean, love it. It's great. It looks great. Looks great. Link. Link. It looks fine. It's kind of got like AVAX syndrome, ADA syndrome. It's not really exciting up here. It's bullish, don't get me wrong. Is there like, I don't know, I'm just drawing lines, but I don't think that's a rising wedge. The clear breakout was at 8, right? So now the question is, someone like me, I sold mine at 21. So this may keep going, this cycle. I assume it would. But for me, anything I had, I'm happy with what I got. And that's that. Trend-wise, it looks fine. All-time highs. It could hit 100 this cycle, so that's still another 5x. And that's just taking the high, taking the low, fibbing it out. So if you're a believer in Link this cycle long term, sure, hold it, forget about it. Put it somewhere you're not going to look at it every day and panic if you think it's going to 100. I said the same thing about Sol. I think I actually have it up here. Sol on Kraken, yeah. I mean, look, if you think retail's here to stay, if you think Solana's here to stay, if you think XYZ reason, it doesn't really matter. But if you have conviction, this is your pitchfork on Solana. This is your brain on drugs. No, this is what the pitchfork looks like. Okay. So, your selling points are way up here. Your stop loss is way down here. And ideally in the cycle, a year after halving is where alts start to top. Okay, so if you believe in Solana, all of these targets are ridiculous. They're always ridiculous. I'm talking like 1,000 plus, 3,000 Solana, $3,000 Solana. As long as this pitchfork holds, those targets are possible. Okay. So, you know, you could say the same thing with Link. If you're bullish Link and you like it, don't sell it every $5 like I did, right? Just hold it for the cycle. Is there a pitchfork on this? I'm looking at this here specifically. That's probably very, very, very generous. Okay. I don't think that's realistic, personally. So I'm not even going to utter the words out loud at how bullish that could be. But my point is if you are convicted on something and it has a pulse and it has a real use case beyond, you know, the 5 people on Cardano, then hold it, right? We are early in the cycle. We are early in the cycle. ILV. I got nothing. Clearly it broke out down here and it reconsolidated. You can measure the fibs here. It poked into that fib target up there. Alternatively, you could say cup and handle. Again, you know, this whole thing, not quite to the target there yet. I don't know. It looks okay. It looks late, you know, if you're entering here, but it looks fine. Stellar, stellar, stellar. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy, stellar. So first thing you'll notice immediately, hopefully, is post-halving is when Stellar does stellar. Ha! The best. You know, consolidated there around the halving, consolidating there around the halving. Here you could probably, again, argue some sort of consolidation. You know, the same song and dance. If you like it here, now, sure. I would personally wait to see what it looks like post-halving, which is only in a couple weeks. That's April. So there's halving. It probably isn't going to look much different than it does now, is my guess. Last halving, what is that, 200 days? So it's 200 days after halving, brings us into Q4. Again, like I keep saying, I think Q4 is going to be the most insane alt season we've ever seen. Just absolutely insane. It's either going to be insane or Bitcoin's just going to own everything. But I think alts are going to do best in Q4. So would I want to hold this until then? I wouldn't, but you know, you do you. Tezos starting to get in the weekly cloud. Looks fine. I don't hate it. I don't think anybody's using this thing. I don't think Tezos is a narrative. I don't see anybody talking about Tezos ever. So you got to be careful there. But the trend doesn't look horrible. EOS, just while we're on the similar topic here, looks similar. Starting to get into the cloud. Does anybody care that EOS exists? I don't think so. You got to keep that in mind. What is that? How did this gap down? This is a crypto chart. Hold on. Who asked me about this one? Who asked me about this? Why is there a gap on this chart? This makes no sense. Did they like have a split or something? Like what happened there? I have no idea. I wouldn't touch this though. I wouldn't touch this with a 35-foot pole. I have no idea what happened there. I'm guessing there's some sort of coin issuance. Something. I don't know. I don't know anything about it. If that's the right chart. Yeah. Yeah, they must have had a reverse split or something, right? By the BTFT. I don't know about that. Yeah, I would avoid that thing. Not for me. Mog. I mean, it looks fine. It's consolidating. Clearly it broke out way down there. Right? It's like a year of accumulation. Broke out. Now it's consolidating. I don't know. I don't have anything to say. I wouldn't want to lose the high time frame cloud there. See, it's the same thing with ADA, not to pick on Optimistry here in the chat, but people will say, oh, there's this one project, there's these 5 people. Like, I get it. I hear you. I'm not going to disagree that it doesn't exist. Does the market care that that stuff exists? I don't think so. I just don't think so. In the most important question for Tezos, like, okay, you've got NFT projects. Sweet. Does anybody need to buy the token for any reason? Do they need to hold the token for any reason? Clearly, there's people staking Tezos. I know that. Is there any other reason to buy Tezos the token? No, I don't think so. Okay, that's just me. ILV, I said it was, you missed. For me, I look at this and I say I missed the move. So I don't see anything here for me. Any other crypto stuff before we move on to legacy? I've never requested before. Thanks again. Says keep calm and hold on. All right, sure. EVA. I don't care if you guys request stuff. You can request whatever you want. Uh-oh. We only look at charts that are up and to the right on this stream. If you're bullish, you're really hoping it holds this range. I don't know. I mean, yeah, like if the thing is with all this stuff, it's clearly been down only for months. And if you like something like this, you could say, okay, I'm gonna buy some, and then if it makes all-time lows, I'm out. I don't hate that mentality. I just would personally rather buy stuff that looks better than this, but yeah, as a trade idea, sure. As a trade idea, sure. Any list other stuff, crypto stuff? E-gold, Canute keeps asking me about e-gold. Let's take a look. Last one, then we'll move on to legacy stuff. In this, we'll speed run the legacy list in 17 minutes. Looks fine. Look, if it's in the weekly cloud for the first time in months, in years, why not, right? I talked about the, let me pull it up. Where's it at? Where did I put it? I'm looking, here it is. AXS, Mana, Flow, Sand. I don't care what this stuff is. I know it's junk. Okay, I know it's NFT metaverse GameFi trash. It doesn't matter. The same thing with eGold, okay? Or EGLD. I don't know if it's eGold. The cloud is telling me to tell you to say that a bottom attempt is in the making here. That's about as far as I can go. Because all the other coins have sort of made their moves, right? These are the laggards that are left. So if I was to play anything, yeah, I own Flow. I hold Flow personally. But all these charts, sure, why not? Filecoin's another one. The reason I hold that at all is because the chart looks good. That's it. This chart looks okay. Same reason. It's in the weekly cloud. That's it. Looks good. Looks fine. Okay, let's look at legacy real quick. So DXY, I'm still very nervous that this is very bullish for DXY. I'm nervous that this is some sort of bottom attempt. Unlike ETH BTC, okay, right? This thing is clearly trying to diamond. We've been lucky that the Dixie BTC correlation hasn't really been strong, or inverse correlation. But if this starts to break out, then I think we got to be careful. Because if the rest of the world is cutting rates and we are not cutting rates, that's going to help DXY in the bullish direction. So it's definitely something to keep an eye on. Energy, XLE, I'll just skip to this. Man. Unfortunately, it looks like I might be right about XLE. Which is another reason, hold on, let me find. So I'm in a trade on this, I'm in options on this, believe it or not. Shout out to Matthew Golf 34. Yeah, so this thing, you know, I watch these risk reversal guys on YouTube. You probably, some of you in the chat probably know who I'm talking about. Dan Nathan, Guy Adami, Liz Young, Carter Braxton Worth. All of these people I just mentioned, their YouTube channel has been bearish almost everything for years, okay? Months, definitely, years probably. They occasionally bring up stuff that I see that I just like, you know, I like to hear about stuff I'm not looking at. So for them, it's legacy. For them, it's energy, whatever else. This chart a few weeks back looked very good. It looks even better now. It's an ascending triangle. It is a multi-year breakout. It is an all-time high breakout, I believe, soon. It looks really good. And if energy is bullish, that may hurt the inflation picture. Energy may be bullish because of geopolitical stuff finally catching up with us. Energy may be bullish based on seasonality. You know, there's a lot of things you could say are going to help this trade. But ultimately, I don't think this is a good thing for risk markets if energy picks up again. But it looks good. It looks really, really good. Really, really good. If anything, it looks too bullish, right? If we look at the RSI, it's probably at infinity. Oh no, okay. RSI on the weekly actually is not bad. RSI on the daily is screaming. But RSI on the weekly looks okay. I thought the RSI on the weekly was much higher than that. So I love this chart. I own some of this already, so that looks great. KWeb from BY. KWeb is the Chinese internet ETF. A few weeks ago, we looked at this and I said, you better hope this bottoms here, because the concern on a chart that looks like this is the bearish TK cross with price below cloud, which is usually turbo bearish. I said this might be a inverted head and shoulders trying, but I have an alert at 32 on this. And much like the alt trades, Q4, this probably does well, right? Q4 is probably when this, if it does break out. What do I mean by legacy? Just non-crypto. So metals, Forex, commodities, energy, equities, anything that's not crypto is legacy in my mind. The old world, right? We're the new world. If you give me the ticker for that, Siddharth, I'll take a look. I don't know the tickers though. We'll pull that up. All right, so that's KWeb. Bottom attempt maybe. but it's probably months away. And of course, you've got to think about China economic health, China geopolitical nonsense. So I think that's going to take some time. Oh, Peloton. So this is Peloton. I had the wrong cloud. Let's go to the legacy cloud. This reminds me of PayPal in that there's obviously a huge falling wedge on this thing. Definitely not above the weekly cloud, not above the 3-day, not above the 2-day, not above the daily, right? So I would probably watch this on the 2-day cloud. I'm going to set an alert for myself on this diag. Yeah. So I don't think you touch this until it breaks up, personally. And if you wait, you're missing like 5%. It's like nothing. So I think this is an interesting chart to watch. Not saying that this will be bullish. I just like the pattern, right? It's Peloton. You got to keep that in mind. Same thing with Zoom, right? We talked about this last stream, but Zoom all the way down to its pre-pandemic open, retraced the entire pandemic highs, and I have an alert at 75, right? So if this thing can make a higher high for whatever reason, if we're here 6 months from now and Zoom is recovered, PayPal's recovered, Peloton's recovered, Hood, Toast, like all of these garbage companies effectively, like, if they are doing well, then that probably means rates are down and economic health, the economic outlook isn't like recessionary, right? That'd be my guess. Sorry. So yeah, that's Zoom. I would wait on this to 75. Toast, I actually bought some of this week. This is the point of sale, I was going to say proof of stake, POS system for restaurants. Like Hood, like anything, this is, again, it's suffered for years. It's at highs. Does it look amazing? No, let's be clear. But much like Hood, this is sort of at the top of its range before Hood broke out, so that's why I like it. Hood, I have been holding for a while. I actually took a trade on Hood probably like 2023, and I closed it, and then I reopened it in 2023 again later on, but this looks great. If retail comes back to trading, if XYZ happens with the market, right, this continues to look very good to me. If we look at RSPG, which is the equal weight energy ETF, this also looks very good. So this is an XLE analog for the same reasons, right? Very clear horizontal resistance, very clear diagonal support, breaking everything to the upside. It looks very good. Where does this go? Possibly to 100, which I think would be a new all-time high for that. So this looks better than XLE even. Looks very good. I'll just add this to my chart. So the energy stuff finally doing very well. Very, very well. CDLX, Cardlytics. It's in the weekly cloud. It is a gigantic hot mess. It, I like that it dove and then is trying to bottom. It looks okay. I don't like it as much as Hood or Toast or XLE, to be clear, but it's trying to bottom. It probably needs 3 to 6 months, but it looks okay. I don't think there's like a pattern here that you can point to. I don't know. Reminds me of Snap actually, which I don't think Snap is an investable company, but kind of a similar idea. Like, let's revisit this in 3 to 6 months. I'm just going to set an alert for this level. Like, I would love to see this thing chop around for a long time, and then, for whatever reason, it starts to do good again. KMPR. Don't know what this is. Doesn't really matter. On the weekly, it looks good. Breakout on the weekly, breakout on the 3-day. What does the monthly look like? You know, there's a W double bottom there, right? It looks fine. It looks extremely noisy, but doesn't look bearish. You know, again, up here, if I'm ever looking for bearish things, it doesn't even have to be perfect, but just like so many attempts to try to break those highs and just couldn't. But down here, it looks okay. Looks okay. Tilray. Ho-ho, Tilray. Tilray is the Devil's Lettuce company, right? I don't hate this triple bottom down here. So whoever asked me about this one, this is not a bad chart. Probably set an alert at like 282. But that's a, you know, look, if the marijuana regulatory picture clears up in the United States, some of this stuff might do well. The same thing with MSOS, which a lot of guys are looking at. Pure cannabis ETF. Same thing. Down only for years. Sideways bottom. Yeah, you know, like, look, if you like the chart, if you like the story, if you like the fundamentals, sure. I don't hate it. I don't think it's convincingly bullish enough to touch, but yeah, it's a chart. Squarespace, the web company, looks good. You know, it's making highs. It's extremely noisy. Like week over week, it basically retraces itself over and over again. It's a weekly breakout on the cloud. Doesn't look terrible. Doesn't look terrible. Don't hate it. Okta. I think the Okta entry was at like 90. It looks fine. I just think at this point, the better entry's gone. Ideally, this like bleeds sub 100 for a little while, and then you get a better entry. But it is trying to reverse trend. Snow. Oof. Snowflake. It's on the diag support. Again, like if you're convicted, you know, I wouldn't want to buy this personally because, you know, the fact that it gave up 40% that easily, that's usually a problem. But you know, if you're a believer, now's your time to take a stand. PLTR, someone just asked about, so sure. It looks fine. Low time frames are bearish. Again, it's got this like head and shoulders vibe to it, right? It's also at the top of the megaphone. Is that what this is? Rising something megaphone blah blah blah. I would look to catch this all the way down here. So that's like 25% potentially. I'm going to set an alert for myself. On whatever this is. Let me go to like the 3-day. Yeah, this one doesn't look bullish to me. Up here. Looks like it's played out. Looks angry. Where was the Nifty 50 guy? Type Nifty, choose NSE. Okay. Nifty 50. Okay. There's a chart. Look at that. It's a great looking chart. Let's take off the cloud. Let's just admire the beauty and splendor of that channel. It's basically all-time highs, right? There's probably there's probably a channel that exists on this. The concern would just be if we like pitchfork this out, hypothetically, we could say, well, COVID brought it here, 2008 financial crisis brought it here. Maybe this would be the next level if this breaks out to like 33K, unironically. 33K by July? No, 33K this year. I mean, if this breaks up, you just have to be careful on the low time frames. If this gets angry on that channel, it doesn't look like a bear div, really. If it gets angry on that channel, I would be careful. But I'm intrigued because it looks very good. That was the entry on the weekly down there at 17K. It looks good. Looks really good. Can't lie. A tier list for trade opportunities, and then the next thing is tell you exactly where to buy and sell. No, I'm kidding. Oh man, so this is an inverse. This is a 3x short semiconductor ETF. Did somebody say daily bull div? Is that what they said? I don't think you can short this right now. So you can short socks. You can't short semis. Semis are having a moment. They're at all-time highs. Why are you shorting all-time highs? Not you, whoever asked me about this, but I think there's this propensity for people, like, they either missed the SMH, which is the long version. Maybe you missed SMH, maybe you're bearish, AI, whatever. You just can't short it. You can't. Look at this chart. Look at this chart. Would you look at it? Yeah, it's a bull div. Okay. Tell that to the market. Tell that to the AI people. Hey guys, it's a bull div on socks. I don't know. I mean, good luck if you're long this, which would be short semis. Good luck, but you got to be careful. I mean, SMCI to me doesn't look happy to be up here. I would rather try to short individual names than go long socks personally. Like I can see the logic in it. It's just you're at all-time highs. You are calling your shot, literally. Nvidia looks okay. It's not for me up here. I wouldn't touch it. Just looking at RSI, but I mean, if you are a hero, want to be a hero, socks is for you. You could also say this is This is like a channel. You could wait. Now, I'm getting excited talking about it. You could wait till this breaks some like low time frame cloud. I'm gonna set an alert on this just because I'm curious. As a trade idea, I mean it's interesting. I can see where you're going with it, but you have to be very careful about this shorting semis right now. All right, standard charter. If this is even the right standard charter. Chop, nothingness. Can we just look at KRE? Is that easier? KRE is the regional banking ETF. I don't know, just turbo chop. I got nothing. Maybe cup and handle. Cloud likes it at highs, basically. If this can hold the breakout up here. I don't know, I just think there's better stuff to trade. I also think fundamentally, if rates are higher for longer, this is going to get held down. Probably revisit this if we get closer to rates coming down. But does not look good here. GME. GM flippin' E. A multi-year falling wedge of death. I assume this just bleeds forever. I assume this never actually recovers because it's absurd. So I wouldn't touch this. I just wouldn't. There's just too much baggage here. Not for me, but if this can break the falling wedge, the forever falling wedge, then maybe. MSTR we talked about. Coin. Again, I just like this pitchfork. The longer this can survive, you know, what's my 2025 target? Here we go. You guys ready for this? January 2025. My coin target is 750. 750. That would be the midpoint of the pitchfork. So if this can continue to snake in the pitchfork for the rest of this cycle and then some, I think that's a reality. But coin looks good, right? So look, if you believe, it's like anything else. If you believe in XYZ has a narrative, has a fundamental story, is bullish for XYZ reason, sure. The fibs agree with me that 580 to 710 would be the level based on the high and the low. It sounds insane, but I like it. I like it. It would be interesting. Let's assume the ETFs for ETH get denied in May. Okay. It would be interesting if coin kind of bleeds a little bit into May. You know, I think that's the next best buying opportunity. I think all the dips are for buying on coin. And then the all-time high probably gets put in around ETH ETF approvals, which I don't know when that would be, but coin looks great. I have nothing else to say. WGMI, minor ETF, just enormous chop. Enormous chop. I like it above 20. You know, back to like the XLE conversation, that chart has a much better picture to me in the near term. This is just atrocious. CleanSpark, I said a few weeks ago, or last week, I said that this looked like a Head and Shoulders attempt to me. And since then, it's not broken down. It's only been bullish, realistically. Stalled out at the highs. it's a mess. It's a hot mess. I don't know. Looks bullish, but what do you do? Would you get in up here? It's not for me. Somebody asked me about Hive. Hive's not for me. I'd want to see it above $4. You know, you want higher highs. That's what you want. So like IREN, for example, is another one that is starting to look like it's ready soon, but it needs higher highs. Wolf is another one starting to make higher highs. Looks like it's ready soon. You know, so I like this over Hive, for example. All right, last few here. This probably is the wrong. Mills Music Trust. Is this right? MMTR. Sideways chop. I don't have anything to say there. SNDL. W double bottom. Looks pretty good, honestly. I don't know what this is, but looks pretty good. I'm just gonna put an alert at 225 and call it a day on that one, but it looks good. The cloud likes it. It's been pain. It made a new all-time low. It consolidated at the all-time low. I like it. Palm. Panther Metals. Kind of noisy chop, trying to bottom. Looks like alt BTC charts, you know. It's trying to bottom. It's trying to find a break above the cloud. So I would wait to catch this at like $4 personally. Needs to have some strength, right? Needs to have some highs here. Consolidating. All right, last one. USD CAD. USD CAD. Slop and chop. I have no idea. Just complete chop. Much like XLE, UJ, on the other hand, this thing looks ready to send into outer space. Okay. Clearly, unless they try to fix whatever's going on here, UJ could be headed to an insane level. This is like the Josh goes to vacation in Japan level. Okay. That would be a multi-year high, multi-decade high. But it looks possible. All right. I know I didn't really interact with chat much, but we got our lists, we got our timestamps, hopefully. DJT, last one for the lulls. This thing is going to end in disaster for a lot of people. This thing is pure fugazi nonsense. Much like Reddit. Let's be clear, I'm not bullish on the Reddit stock either, but if you're trading this thing long-term, good luck. Good luck. Now, it's going to probably have a short squeeze. But yeah, that chart, that company, it's going to be interesting if Trump wins or loses the election and what happens to this specific chart on that day. I don't know. I don't have an answer there. Just an idea. Last one, Reddit. Yikes. Oops. Reddit has crumbled as I would expect. Head and shoulders top, maybe falling wedge, bull div down here, right? I wouldn't touch this with the 25,000 foot pole. Not for me. Win stream from Japan, dude. I wish. I just need to find time to go and do this stuff. I want to go to Portugal. I want to go to Japan. That's all I got for this one. I'm gonna stretch my legs. Maybe go on the Peloton. No, but thanks for hanging out. Give me a like, give me a dislike, give me a comment or a request, anything. If you have anything else you want me to look at on another stream, I read all the comments. I reply to all the comments. That's all I have for this one. Happy trading. Happy weekend without Larry. Hopefully we can survive here on the crypto side. That's all I got. Take care.